Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janice from TwoSistas Wellness Diva 5.0. It is Wednesday, December 1st. Oh my God, December 1st. It sounds really ironic to say that. And sometimes, with everything going on in the world and holidays, we're post Thanksgiving, going into Christmas, sometimes I think December gets a bad rap. But however, I do want to say Carol Sue is not able to be with us today. But we're just going to get right into, I'm going to get right into introducing my amazing guest, who I consider to be a dear friend now. Her name is Pei Ming Sun, and we call her Sunny for obvious reasons, because she is that bright light. She is that sunny person that you want in your back corner. Good, bad, indifferent, she is there for you. So Sunny, I want to welcome you to the Two Sisters podcast.
Thank you, Janice, and everybody watching us. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I call my Wednesday wings day because there's a lot of wings for us to collect it. So this is my first big wing. I'm here to be a guest of Janice for this beautiful podcast. And so I met Janice because we co-authored a book, and that became an international bestseller. That's such a good thing to do together with all the amazing ladies. And through the rights, we built a relationship about continuously how to support one another and how to shine together to make impact around the world. So I'm so glad I have a chance to actually reach Janice network and maybe potentially connect with people, and then we can all shine together, become a sunny community.
I love that, a sunny community. And who doesn't want to be in a sunny community? As a matter of fact, I don't know, it's about 28 degrees here today, so I'm a little
wow.
I get hot and I get cold. But yeah, I was going to mention the book, and I just want to show everybody the book real quick. And Sunny, you were actually the first story featured in the book, and I kind of want to start with that because, obviously I've read your story several times. I was the virtual assistant on that project, so excuse me, I had the privilege of reading everyone's stories a few times. And I just want to read something to you. And I love this because it's a very, very short glimpse, in my opinion, of what you do and what you are all about. So I want to share this with you. The purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to develop it. The meaning of life is to give your gift away. And then you say right after that, and that's a famous quote, by the way, by David, as you know, David Viscott. And then you say, so trust the process and unleash your potential by letting go of all the negativity and embracing all the opportunities. Sunny, that quote from David really, as I said, to me really encompasses almost the mission statement, if you will, and it may or may not be your mission statement, but for me, reading it, every time I read it, I feel that it's your mission statement to do what you do. So if you would just kind of share with us what that quote really means to you and how that's developed into what you do today.
Sure, love to. Thank you. That is the quotation I think I discovered maybe 1 year ago, and I look at that and say, holy moly, that explains everything. So I can divide that with a 3 stage, right? The first is discover your gift, and second is developed. And the third one is start to shining with your particular gift by giving to others. So for that 3 thing, I'm also number 3 people. I'm just like everything is like meaningful coincidence. I'm last name Sun, and number 3 is the sun. And also I am the 3-1 personality based on the human design. So I'm totally number 3. And I look at the quotation, that's 3 stages, right? So it's nothing, it's coincidence. So for me, it's really, we all born with gifts. We all know we have something bigger than us we need to do. But however, we just get busy, with all the goals and all the expectations and social conditioning, whatever. So we always busy and think that's the purpose. But when this busyness going on, eventually you will think about, wait a minute, I waste about 50 years. What do I really want? I'm not feeling clear. So that is the moments I think I start to think, wait, I need to stop. I need to go deeper to see what's going on in my life, right? So that's how I discover myself. I dissect my life every 10 years and look with honest eyes and to see what have I learned or what I have done in that every 10 years. Then I start to have a very clear, see, oh, the message is all in there. And after that, I start to develop, like, okay, I see myself, coming here, immigrants, struggle with corporate America and raise a family alone as a single parent. And also one of my son has a special needs. So through all the journey, I try to fight against it and try to get information to survive. Then I only see it because I'm thinking about I need more. I need to fight. Otherwise, I'm not good enough. So in that view, I start to think about, I'm just chasing the wrong place. I actually have something, like I talk about, everybody has a gift, but I don't want to see it. I think I need this, I need to grab this, I need to get that in order to fulfill that security. But then after I see that, I say, wait a minute, I do have the gift, so all the time, my resilience, my understanding, my compassion is all coming out, right? So that is the gift start popping out, and I say, cool, so I can need to further develop that, right? So the next things I do in the past 2 years is just find myself, to love myself more. I look at that, oh, I'm really good. I can survive like this, what else I'd be bothered, right? So I may start to have a confidence coming out. And I further develop it by becoming a speaker and go to all the platform to talk to people and just to share I know. And also through the process, I have this awakening experience. Just the book we talk about is just the awakening experience for me. From that point on, I start to pop out more of the gift inside of me. I just say, wow, everybody should know about that. Find all this negativity outside. Come on, there's something in there. We need to go in there. The decision is need to be made to find out what they are, right? Once we get into it, it develop, okay, bit by me, I can see I need to speak more. I need to be visible because the past 3 years, I'm just, I'm just surviving. I'm small. I don't want to do anything outside to be seen because I'm nobody. I lost everything. I lost my job. I lost my marriage. I am going to lose my son. I'm going to lose my parents. It's all the losses, right? But that's when I start feel happy about myself. The losses become an opportunity. Like they teach me so many things about the losses. Then I say, well, if I can shift the mind, let me see how can I shift it so I can maybe guide others through the same process, right? So that's go to the third phase. After I develop, I can see I have the strength, I have the knowledge, I have the passion to really share. Then that is how I'm going to share, right? That's how I become a strategist, because I think, well, I cannot really hold everybody's hand, but they might need something I know. And that strategy be personalized by who they are, because everybody's different. We all come in different background, educated differently or believe to different gods. So we all have differences, but in the end, essence is the same. And we are coming here to shine. We are collect wings. We are winning already when we're born as a human being, right? So that's how I get the 3 things. And I think hoping that can resonate with you. It's just 3 simple things. Every stage we wake up and say, yeah, I got this gift, and how I'm going to make it even better. Don't focus on the weakness. We all have weakness, but who cares? We are different. So if someone better than us, we can collaborate, and they have the strengths, I have my strengths, then everybody win again, right? So that focus really just goes through the process and start shining to give you a giveaway. And I'm so glad I meet Janice and all the people who are along the way. We all have the same way. We all wake up for certain situations. Then we decided, if we survive, that's something make us stronger. And that's the place we can start to give out those strengths or resilience or knowledge to somebody else who might need it. So I hope that answers your question. It sounds like kind of a long
Yes,
story to tell.
I know, and I so appreciate your in-depth answer on that, because I have a lot of questions to kind of follow up on that. And I just want to go back a
Sure.
little bit, because I think a lot of times, especially for women, whenever we are going through transitions in our life, for you, it was, you know, corporate America, excuse me, single mom. And of course, you're raising two sons, one of which you said has special needs. And when you go through that process of every 10 years, you must have, and obviously I know the backdrop to a lot of this, but excuse me, you must have, when you asked yourself those hard questions, how difficult, or maybe it wasn't as difficult for you to say, all right, I'm doing this over here, and I'm really finding out that maybe this doesn't suit me as well. What are some of the tough questions that you answered, but maybe were like, they were gnawing at your heartstrings, like, really, I'm doing this when I could be doing this?
Yeah, oh, of course, you know, if you are into human design, I'm the generator, the true generator. Dalai Lama is one of them too. So what we do is we always just curious about everything. You know, we get into deeper, say, okay, so let's figure out why, you know, and plus I'm trained as a scientist. I have this analytical mind, I couldn't help. But through the journey, I actually know that's my shadows. Like I'm focused on the wrong place. Shadow occur because there's lights on the back, right? But if we're facing the shadow, we only see something we need to get more, but the lights on the back. So my generator's profile actually pushed me to feel not enough. I always need more, the piece of information, how to make these things better, right? So of course, when I in this journey about seeking and grabbing, so many things, like I just stuck in there. You know, I just stuck, like I said, all right, so I have a master's degree, that in order to get that job, do I need to get a PhD, right? Or something like that. And I'm just struggling over time, and all the boys, my parents and my colleague, they all got the PhD. Then my parents invested in me. They want me to come here, United States, invest, become, you know, top scientist. But I just don't feel that is for me. You know, I'm struggling with expectation and my ambitions. Then also feel something is not aligned. But when I have the doubts, actually my life situation give me the answers. So I'm working in corporate America, right? Want to be kind of the letter. Then I discover, you know, I have divorced my husband. So once that becomes single parents, then I have two young kids. And the two young kids become my priority. And so I'm still need the money, right, to raise my kids. Then I struggling because it's just not fit right. But I need that money. So the security is kind of, I can take it, no problem. But then what happened is I realized my son has a situation, the doctor say, just few years, he need a lot of care. So I say, all right, so I quit my job, right? Because that's a priority issue. Like, so I cut out that security. And people think I'm crazy. But now I think that's the best decision I make, because I'm not going to thrive in the location I don't even fit. And even I'm like, come on, I need that security. You know, I need to be connected with all the scientists, but the other life situation just pull me back. So I think I'm such a blessing person in, like, when you're on the crossing roads, what to do, and this answer just pop in. Then I just grab that answer and move on, right? So really, I think my journey is teaching me more than just trust your feeling and align with who you are, value the most. So once you know the strengths or your essence, I would say, who you really are, you go deeper, you understand that, and decision making becomes such easy, even with the generator. You know, you just need to go that, you know, that's a clarity issue too, right? So you really know who you are and what's your life goal is. Things can be, but I have to say my journey took a lot of turns for me to realize that point. So really, we want to have a space and time for ourselves in order to get to the point. Don't see, okay, you know, Dalai Lama make it, Sunny may make it much earlier than this, but that doesn't matter. As you can make decision any moment you want, and you can start to live that lifestyle you always dream of. So that's just share that the decision making, yeah, it's not easy.
No, it isn't, because what you mentioned when you were answering that were expectations and ambitions. And sometimes our expectations could be a big lofty goal, say. And our ambitions may be, we want to get there yesterday, but we want to take the necessary steps. So I feel as though maybe you were at that crossroads, and it's not that you had fear, but you chose, maybe your ambitions were that strong that you knew for instinctively that you had to be in that fork in the road to create where you are today, in in a situation where you are able to oversee your son's care and be at home, but also do what you were meant to do and be inspired, feel fulfilled in what you do. And I think a lot of times maybe our fear stops us, but I think it's our ego sometimes that pops in, and it's like, oh yeah, you're going in the right direction. You've got to push a little longer. So I'm wondering, when you were in that fork in the road, and you've described it so beautifully, and you made that choice in that moment, that was very poignant. So I'm wondering, did you feel any fear? Did you feel relief? Like, how are you feeling in that moment?
Well, I can describe the last days. I stay in the corporate America, you know, that's the end of the 2008. And I'm sitting alone, everybody, because it's close to the holiday break. A lot of people take break. So I sit there alone. I worked there for 11 years. No one dropped in to say good luck or, you know, hopefully we can connect. And I sit alone waiting for the time for 5 o'clock. Then that really tells me something. If you work for someone, you just piece of the chess piece. If they want to put you there, you need the nail in there. You have to do what they told you. If you're not do, they don't give you a raise, they downgrade you, whatever they can do, you have no control. So in that moment, I actually feel I'm going to be free. Nobody can control me anymore. So I would say, I do have uncertainty. I do feel like what I'm going to do. You know, I'm in the foreign country. I only train as a scientist. I have no knowledge about how to survive on streets. I always in the academic, you know, get a job, get a degree, those kind of a platform. And I totally don't know what's going out there. But that's the same feeling when I just decided to come to this country anyway, because I have the spirit, I need to have the freedom. That's one of my, at the deep core, I cannot live without freedom. So in that point, I think I really don't, my fear about future is much less than the desire to be free, if I put it that way. So it's like a balance, you know, if you have this positivity over the negativity, then you would take the leap. But if you really have a lot of self-doubt, so you really don't trust yourself and you will focus on uncertainty, well, that fear definitely would be much stronger than the desire to be free. So I think that's just me. But of course, I face a lot of things. I'm like, this is my choice for freedom. It goes with this, you know. But at the same time, I said, well, I made my choice. I honor my choice. I stick to my choice. The only thing I can do is change what I don't like. So the involvement, you know, trying arrows, is all in that journey. But I think it's worth it because see, something didn't kill me, made me stronger, right? So I always have that belief. And and I enjoy the rides and to give myself a little space. You know, someone maybe need 30 years. I'm only 20 years. I still have time. So don't need to worry about that. And I just keep moving on. Yeah, fear is everything. Fear actually is the biology. No one can take it out. But the way we can do is to create a desire or motivation and override that fear. And that fear become your drive, because we all have that. So don't ever want to kill your fear, because that's not healthy, because it's just part of you. Just play with it. Yes.
Right. And, you know, and by the way, I just want to say to everyone, if you haven't purchased this book, I will definitely put the link to this, our Thriving Beyond Crisis, under the live of this video. Sunny's is the first story there. You really have to read. I mean, all the stories in this book obviously are amazing. But I was obviously very captivated by your story. And I also feel, excuse me, how do I say this? I feel an extra bond with you. As you know, my son suffered a life-threatening injury, and your son has a life-threatening continuing injury going on. So I think we definitely have that special bond as moms. And I know for me, when I was initially going through this with my son, I didn't realize until about a week or two ago how much emotionally it affected me, and how much my creative process on what I do was really very important to my existence. And it's taken a lot to kind of, you know, when you're going through that, to realize where you are or what you feel as a parent in that moment. And what I would like to say about that is I've often, as I said, go back to your story. And I love when you were describing, and I don't want to say too much about your story, obviously, but you were, you were describing a particular instance where you were in the restaurant doing something, and I don't want to give it away. And I thought to myself, that's pretty, like, that's an earth-shattering moment, in my opinion. Like, that is noteworthy. Here, this hardworking mom, single mom of two, making a living to support her family, being creative, and in that moment realized the act of what she was doing in that moment was so profound. Was so profound. Have you had any other instances, or perhaps other moms or dads, parents that may be going through something very difficult with their child, that maybe you could maybe give them a little tip on some things that they could do to kind of help them through that phase?
Sure. Yeah. That phase, you know, the bonding with my son, on that moment, I know his diagnosis, and the doctor say, well, just a few years. That really struck me. He say, I don't think so. Well, you know, I would do all my can, because I'm the molecular biology. He has the genetic problems. So I said, I will help to find the scientists or provoke, you know, it's just involved with all the clinical trials. So I did the first few years. I go to conferences and I listen, I take the notes, and I say, well, that is amazing. All this knowledge I learned, now I can apply to save people like my son, right? But in the process, I also know something is not, like, we lack of the acceptance, like that disease didn't define my son, right? I accept because I thought he's going to be dying. Other than I accept he's here to share a moment with me. So that shift need to be happening every time. But since you asked about the parenting and the bonding with the kids, the moment for me to realize is I'm never going to lose him. the reason he's here is because we all have this human experience to be parents and kids, but I don't own him, he don't own me. We are two different entities just to have a very close relationship through the time being. And so I gradually to tour myself to think, if he has a purpose here, if his purpose just coming here, let me to experience, I raise a person like him. And for his purpose, maybe he said he trapped in this body decaying, but he doesn't limit his mind. He can still enjoy every moment he would like to do, use his power of the thoughts. So that's his journey. My journey is try to learn how to be along with his journey, and we both benefits. We both has this beautiful story to share and maybe inspire others on the similar journey. So I begin to see, the essence was this, other than the surface of all this fighting and all this details, because the detail never ends, right? You always have the next, oh, he went through like 10 surgeries. Okay, so each surgery we went there and I had to stay there to see him suffering, angry and painful. And the only thing I just be there with him. That's his journey. I'm the caregiver. I can only do the best to care for that, his
Right.
purpose. So if you see that point, we are all connected, we are oneness, then you really don't have a suffering. You just to see the moments, what's my role? What can I do to make the process just go smoothly other than try to fight? And so I think for everybody, even you have a very healthy and happy kids, it doesn't say you have to have some kind of challenging with their physical or mental, whatever. But you can see that's a beautiful creations just through you. Then you have this beautiful bonding experience, but we don't own one another. They are just happen in our life. And it used that honor and compassion view really helped me out a lot. It just say, well, I'm so honored to experience this loss, gradually. But somebody like you, Janice, if something happened, that is very strong. It's just knock your head. That's the same moment when I now know his diagnosis, but I consider that is a gentle knock, because I still have years to create this relationship, but something happened too sudden. That is very difficult. So I really admire you go through this and you still maintain your coolness and help others out. That's a lot of strength you demonstrate. Not everybody can do it. And people will say, you do it. It's like, but I'm giving this small doses through years. 11, 10 surgeries not coming in 1 year, like every other year. So I can adapt to that. Give me space and time to change my thought and align with what I need to do, other than focus on suffering and angry and resentment. Those things won't help me. But it's a training. That's how my develop process there. And right now, I think when I look at back, hey, I survived, and how I use certain way or I change my views, and maybe I can potentially assist others who are similarly, just let them to see different sides of the stories.
Mhm.
And I believe that is how I see it and how I survive. And now, even he's 24, every day he's grasping the air, but we all refuse to have a track because that didn't serve anything. He lose his only ability, the communication. He sit there, the only thing he can do is rolling his eyes and speak. So if I just want to continue, he do that, he think about the same way. If he want just have the breath in and out, but losing everything he ever had now, it didn't make sense. So every moment, remind myself that really the insignificant, the air, the water, the food is everything we need. And all other, yeah, you can fight against that. You can waste your energy to chase it, but you need to understand the core value is for just survive and experience and share. All other is along the way, just for us to experience it. So
Wow.
that's how I see it.
Wow. It's so, if you're saying, to be present in the present and enjoy that time And some of those times can be difficult, but you're still in that moment. And in the midst of the storm, there's always a side story. There's always a blessing. There's always something to learn. And, thank you so much for sharing that. I want to chat about what you do I know you have a few different things going on. You are the little Sunny on Wisdom and specifically Clubhouse. So I was wondering if you could, and also your Facebook group, Hope. I was wondering if you could share with our audience a little bit about each of those.
Sure. Actually, they're all coming from my own journey and also my realizations. We all have a control, right? We all have the gifts. And the only thing we need to do is to take out the negativity and we can start to shine through. So I have this called Hope, Global Hope Movements, inspired by a lot of people in Clubhouse. They all kind of just who they are and share the message. They want to grow a community under that same the vision and missions. So I think I can do similar like that, right? So the Hope Movement has to reunite all this women over 40, regardless you speak different language, at least you need to understand either Mandarin and English, because I'm limited to that languages. So with the platforms, what we can do is just discover everybody's gift together collectively, because sometimes we need somebody to point in it. I believe in you. I see this in you. And they say, me? We all have the doubts, right? But if you have this community, really trust and engage with this positivity, and we all believe in you and trust you. And regardless of what your passion is, we need to unite together. And the Hope Movement is for me to share my journey and also my unique tools. I am the strategist. I have toolboxes, all the tools, and to direct you to have more confidence in yourself and change your thought into seeing the negativity all the time, self-doubts and sabotaging, and into the lights, because I talk about we have a shadow and lights, but they are together. They are never separate. So we're born with everything, but we're seeing one way and the other. So if we can see totally negative, why not just see totally positive? It's the same thing, right? So we can use that. And I particularly like to using this paradoxical way, the ancient wisdom provides us to see the whole thing, God's purview and go zoom in, zoom out. It's all the philosophy in there. So that is really the center of my tool, using the ancient wisdom. Plus I'm trained as scientist. I have a lot of update in the 21st century science. So both on this and all the tools, my Hope Movements really want women to realize we are all conscious influencers. We can influence everybody around us. See, a lot of people in the history, Mother Teresa, right? Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Mandela, they all start from themselves. They are just centered. They're put in a jail for a year. They still grow their tomato, right? The story, I just like, wow. When Mandela is on jail, he insists he won't have a plant in his cell. So he requests to have a tomato plants. So he grow the tomato with whatever he allowed to do, and he just pay attention to the plant, and they flourish. They have all the fruits, and he shared that with everybody. That's how he did in the cell. We are there, we're just like, I'm gonna die. But he's different. He thinking, well, I have the moment, I have to grow things. So we can all do this kind of thing. We don't need to be saint or sage. We can do that daily time. We can just focus on the positive energy to grow, to nurture things. So my Hope Movement is really invite people, particularly women over 40, maybe now you have some kind of stuckness, but you are bigger than what you are now. And that's the time to reunite and shift together with the ease kind of lifestyle. And chasing is going to just drain our energy. So we need to have when you trust something, you're at ease, right? You have a faith, you know tomorrow is coming like this way. You feel at ease. So you need to trust the process. I mentioned on the book, you trust the process to embrace the opportunity, because that's what exactly going on every day. If we don't trust, ourselves to start with. By the way, in order to trust ourselves, we need to have a healthy body. If you don't have a healthy body, you don't trust yourself. So that's part of my training too. Together, we eat better. We know how to eat the good food for our DNA, particularly the DNA is the fundamental of life. And then we have this mindset together. We don't want to change your behavior. We just want to see things in you differently. Then you're going to change yourself. Because if you don't have the belief in yourself, you don't trust it, you can hire 10 coaches. It won't work because you don't love yourself. You don't trust yourself. So you need to have a community and say, we see who you are. We love what you do. We have faith in your future. And that then you start to self-healing yourself. And you can just get out of that. Then you can start shining. And in the biology that really have evidence, your skin start being different. You make like younger, even have a gray hair, whatever, that doesn't matter. You might be eventually going to change the color, but you can feel your life is just, you feel like a little kid. You're just happy all the time, and you just want to have fun because everything happened for you just to experience it. Right, we don't own anything, but even we have time to breathe, and thank for the fresh air, which we may not have a lot of time to enjoy that. I have to say that, but we can still have a lot of impact around people. So that's the Hope Movement in the Facebook group. I really enjoy to have the chance to know people and come to my group. We can all shine together, and doing all the different tools I have in my toolbox together. Then you go on how to make your own impact, because I'm trying to build this as a community. I'm not saying you have to go through this and then you're done. It's not done. It's just needed uniting. So everything you need to support, we are still continue to provide any tools, anything else, and confidence you might need to just sit with us for a while. Then those things can happen for you naturally, and you're all become, since I'm serving a woman, so you'll be all the goddess showing up with your positivity bubble, going around any places to influence others. And you can influence like the person you dearly love, or you can go to the post office and just happen and chat with somebody and they are lighting up their day, right? So I think that's the whole movement I really see happening around everywhere.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will definitely make sure the link to your, if it's okay with you, for your Facebook group is also below the live of this video. And I will also put that in the show notes, because I think many people, our viewers and listeners, are going to want to join your Facebook group. And thank you so much for sharing your passion about that and what that has meant to you to create your group. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, so many golden nuggets today, Sunny. I hope you will definitely come back at some point. And I know Carol Sue, feels really bad that she couldn't be here today. And I know she'll be watching the live of this at some point. And I just want to thank you so much for your honesty, your candor. And I always learn so much from you when we have these heartfelt conversations. And to our viewers and listeners, look Sunny up. She's the bright sunshine, the Sunny strategist. So you definitely connect with her. And on that note, Sunny, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And just a reminder to everybody, today is Wellness Wednesday. It's not about the amount you give. It's not about a donation. It's about a gift in kind to maybe an unsuspecting person. Maybe it's the guy behind you who's buying their coffee. I know Carol Sue doesn't like coffee, but I love my coffee. Maybe it's something as simple as that, creating that ripple effect for an unsuspecting person. Oh my gosh. Think of that for a moment, how that can translate into hitting so many people in such an amazing way. And on that note, my name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0 with Two Sisters. And I want to thank you so much Sunny, the strategist, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. You are such a gem. And we will see you tomorrow for Trending Thursday, probably around 8 a.m., I believe. And everyone, have a great day. Make it a good one. And know that you can make a sunny impact.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Have
welcome.
a great day and wings days.
I love that. That's right. Wings Day. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.